श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विजये पुरोगणां विधेयत्रविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभः निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। गजाननं भूतगणासेवितं कपित्वजम्भोपरतारपक्षितं उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्याये सर्वविघ्नोपशान्ते। व्यासम् अष्टनप्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे सुखदातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं तयो जयमुदीरयेत्. So we were looking at last time Draupadi Aparna. So Draupadi was abducted by Jayadratha, and after that Pandavas together they went and defeated Jayadratha and all his army. They rescued Draupadi and then punished Jayadratha after that. So with that, all the Pandavas returned home with Draupadi, and when they returned to their ashrama, they're sitting there with them. So Janamaji, listening to this story, asked Vaishampayana, "What did Pandavas do after returning?" So Vaishampayana narrates, continues the narration. He says that once they returned to their ashrama, where they all living with the brahmanas sitting around them, munis, all the rishis and munis sitting around them, Yudhishthira looks at Markandeya and addresses him. Rishi Markandeya was still there and it addresses Markandeya and saying that you know everything and you have the full knowledge of all the past and present and future, everything you know that. So I have a doubt in my mind. Tell me, this lady, Draupadi, she has been born in the sacrificial fire, right? So she came out of that fire, and she's not like any other normal birth like born in a womb. She is highly blessed, and she is also daughter-in-law of Pandu. And but I think that with time and destiny, our actions, depending on our actions, the inevitable things happen to all the creatures. If it is not so, why Draupadi is suffering like this? Why she has to go through all these things and she's getting all these false accusations, uh, like uh, like a false accusation, like she's feeling all these things like a honest man getting a false accusations. Why that is happening? And Yudhishthira says that Draupadi has never committed a sinful act. She has never done anything that's not commendable. She always does what is agreeable to her husbands, and she always practices the highest virtue towards Brahmanas. So while she is doing such a of good conduct and character, why she is being punished like this? Why she is facing all these troubles, why she has to come to this forest, why she has to go through all this trouble previously with Dushasana's and Karna's words, and then now Jayadratha. Why all this is happening? So, and Yudhishthira then asks, we it's a disgrace that our wife has been kidnapped and abducted like this, and we living in this forest with all these miseries. We are, even though we live with all these animals, we have to kill them for us to eat and live, survive. So that's the situation currently. That's the most unfortunate situation we are in. Is there anybody you have seen or heard previously who has suffered like this? Any other ladies or family suffered like this before? If you remember previously like this also, Yudhishthira asked similar question, and at that time, Rishi Vriddhashakshava narrated a story of somebody. Whose story was that? Nala Maharaja, if you remember, right? Nala Damayanti. So why, who suffered and things. Now, Yudhishthira asked the question to Markandeya, and Markandeya narrates here, saying that even Rama suffered similar misery like you, because of the evil-minded Ravana, he suffered like this. the Rakshasas, king of that Rakshasas, Ravanas, with decide, he defeated vulture Jatayu and then carried Sita by force. And then Rama, with the help of Sugriva, brought her back. So after constructing the bridge over the sea and consuming or burning the entire Lanka with his arrows, he rescued Sita. So Yudhishthira then asked, who is Rama? So please tell me about his strengths, whose son was Ravana, why he had such a misunderstanding with Rama. Tell me all this in detail, and also Rama's great achievements. How did he do that? You mentioned about constructing a bridge to over the across the sea. How he did that, and how did all things happen? Tell me all this in detail. And then Markandeya says, I will tell you all this world history in detail, and also the distress that suffered by Rama with his wife Sita. So Markandeya starts this narration. So this is second time in Mahabharata we hear about story of Ramayana. Previously, when Hanuman met Bhima, he narrated what happened as Ramayana. Hanuman saw it, right? So he explained that. Now Markandeya explains everything from beginning to end in detail. So Markandeya explains that there was a king named Aja who was born in the Ikshvaku race in Solar dynasty, and in that there was his Ajay had a son called Dasharatha, and who was devoted to study of Vedas, and he was very pure. That Dasharatha had 4 sons who are very good with virtue and morality and dharma artha. They're very good. They are Rama, Lakshmana, Shatrugna, and Bharata. So Rama was born of Kaushalya, and then Bharata was from Kaikeyi, and then Lakshmana and Shatrugna were born of Sumitra. So he explains that there is also King Janaka from Videha. So Janaka had a daughter named Sita, and Twashtri himself, Vishakarma himself, uh, um, desired in terms of created her, thinking about Rama. So assuming that she's going to be Rama's wife, Twashtri himself created her in that form, such a beautiful woman he created as daughter of Janaka. So Markandeya then says, I will now relate everything about birth of Ravana. So Brahma had 7 mind-born sons, right? So among them, Pulastya was one of them. So this Ravana is the grandson of Brahma himself. So that Pulastya had a son called Vaishrava, and he was born of a cow. And that son, after he had a son who was born, and that son, after some time, he left his father Vaishrava, and then he went to his grandfather, and that angered Vaishrava, and he created another person who is similar to him. And this Vaishrava's son, who went to Brahma, and Brahma became very pleased with him, and he's become known as Vaishravana, and he granted him immortality, and he also became the lord of all the wealth across the universe. So that's why he's known as Kubera. So he became known as Kubera, and he became one of the Dikpalakas, so Lokapalakas. So he's become the lord of northern direction. And he also became friend with Ishvara, and Brahma also blessed him with a son called Nalakubera. So, and also Brahma gave him the capital of Lanka, so for him, and also a chariot called Pushpaka, which capable of going wherever it wants. The rider thinks wherever they want to go, it would carry them there. Brahma also made Vaishravana Kubera the king of Yakshas, and also king of all the kings. He also made him king of all the kings. So like this, Kubera was made like that. And Vaishrava, so born of Pulastya, so he had what Kubera did was to please his father. He sent from Lanka, so he sent 3 ladies to serve his father. So Pushpotaka, sorry, Pushpotkata, Raka, Malini. So these 3 were sent there, and after some time, Vaishnava became very pleased with those ladies and asked them what boon they want, and they requested for a son. So Pushpakata, she was blessed with two sons named Kumbhakarna and 10-headed Ravana. Ravana had 10 heads in him. And then Malini was blessed with Vibhishana, and Raka was blessed with Khara and Shurpanaka. So those were the children born of these three ladies. Again, in Ramayana, you hear Ravana, Kumbhakarna's mother, as Kaikesi. Okay, so there is slight name change. It could be same person with two different names across Mahabharata and Ramayana. I don't know, but there is a slight different name mentioned there. So among these children that are born, Vibhishana was very beautiful and he was an excellent person. He was pious. He was always performing religious rites and everything. And most of the Rakshasas with Ravana uh, was the eldest them. The Ravana was the eldest among all of them. He was religious, he was energetic, he was very strength and powerful. So Kumbhakarna also very powerful in battle, fierce and very terrible. And he used to he was master of all the illusions and everything. Khara was proficient in archery, and Shurpanaka and Khara subsisted. He used to kill humans and rishis and everybody and eat them and live on that. And Shurpanaka also, she was also creating a lot of trouble for all the rishis and everybody. So while they were like that, they were learning all the Vedas and everything, all the ceremonial and everything with their father in Gandhamadana. And there they saw Kubera coming there in this Pushpaka chariot, and then he had all the wealth and everything else. Looking at that, Ravana became very jealous, and with his brothers, he started doing penance, very severe penance. So Ravana subsisted on just purely on the air, and he stood there among fires. So that means four sides he had fire, and then on above sun burning him. So that 5 fires. Among them, he stood there on one leg for 1,000 years and prayed to Brahma. Similarly, Kumbhakarna did penance standing head downwards, and he restricted it food and did all the austerities. So Vibhishan also did observing fast and everything, only survived on dry leaves and engaged in severe penance. Kara Shurpanaka looked after these three who were doing penance and everything, so supported their penance. At the end of 1,000 years, Ravana started, because Brahma did not come, he started chopping one head after one from his head. He had 10 heads and chopping one after, and then started offering that head in the sacrificial fire. So with that, Brahma became pleased, and he comes in front of that, and he asks, what do you want except immortality? Ask anything that you want. And also Brahma says, with that, so Brahma tells Ravana that because you offered your heads, all those heads you offered in the fire, you will get them back. You will have all those 10 heads back because you're not going to be a disfigured body because of this penance. Ravana then, because Brahma said, do not ask for immortality. So Ravana says that I should not have any defeats on the hands of Gandharvas, Devatas, Kinnaras, Asuras, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Nagas. So with all these creatures, I should not have any defeat. So Brahma says that, so be it, whatever you asked, that will happen. But you did not ask about men. So the only fear you need to have, except men, so above, only fear you need to have is about men. So Ravana thinks that if I have the strength about all these Devatas, Gandharvas, Yakshas, everybody, then men are not going to trouble him. So similarly, Kumbhakarna was about to be blessed, and he was blessed with, Brahma blessed him, long sleep. Kumbhakarna, by his character, this again, Mahabharata just says that he is blessed with long sleep. In Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, I'm talking about. So in Valmiki Ramayana, Vibhishana mentions that Kumbhakarna was troubling all the rishis and everything. He used to eat huge number of people for his survival, and he used to do that. Brahma became looking at that. Brahma blessed him that he will have sleep, long sleep, 6 months sleep, and he will wake up for only one day. So like that. So in that one day he can eat whatever and then he goes back to sleep like that. So Kumbhakarna is blessed with long sleep, and Vibhishana asks Brahma uh, that he will always be on the path of dharma and righteousness and virtue, and even when in difficult times, Vibhishana asks that I will let me bless me so that I will not swerve away from that virtuous things. So at that time, Blamba says that because you are not inclined towards this unrighteousness and harming anything, even though you're born in the Rakshasa race, I will grant you immortality. So Vibhishana, that's why, is blessed with immortality. So he is one of the person who never dies. So Ravana, then having obtained this boon from uh, Brahma, he goes and attacks Kubera in Lanka and he defeats Kubera, and with that Kubera leaves Lanka and goes with his Yakshas and everybody. He goes to Gandhamadana and resides there. Ravana took the chariot Pushpaka as well from Kubera. With this, Kubera become very angry and he says he curses Ravana that the next person who is going to take this chariot from you will kill you, and whoever that person kills you will become the owner of this chariot, and because you insulted me, you will soon meet your death. Vibhishana, very pious and virtuous, he followed Kubera. He went to Gandhamadana and along with the Yakshas and Rakshasas, he became the command and took the command of the Yakshas and Rakshasas. So here Rakshasas and Pishachas, everybody. So they all man-eating, and with Ravana as their head, Ravana becomes the king of them, and he was capable of assuming any form, any shape, anytime he wanted, and passing through the air with that Pushpaka Vimana, Pushpaka chariot. And like that, he has terrified all the Devatas, Daityas, and everybody. And because of that, uh, he became also known as Ravana. So that's the name associated with him because he was terrifying everybody. Then all the Brahmarshis, Rishis, Siddhas, Devarshis, everybody with Agni, as their spokesman, they went to Brahma and said, "This Ravana is giving a lot of trouble. He is troubling all the rishis and everybody. So you protect us." Brahma says that Ravana cannot be conquered because of the boon he has received, but don't worry. So there will be uh, Vishnu will incarnate and in the form of a human being, and he will kill Ravana. He will punish Ravana. So with that, Brahma tells Indra that you also, with all the devatas, you go and incarnate. You go and uh, have children with monkeys and bears and things like that, animals, and they will support Vishnu in this exercise. So Devatas, Gandharvas, everybody, they go and take give birth to with their help. All the monkeys and bears give birth to children there. So there is also one Gandharvi called Dundubi, and she was ordered by Brahma to go and take birth as a woman in earth, and then she became known as Mantara, and she was described given the task of creating all this path for this Ravana's killing. With with that, all the devatas and everybody left Brahma. Indra and all the devatas they gave birth with them. The monkeys and bears gave birth to lot of children. They were capable of splitting the mountain. They are of huge strength. They could lift huge rocks and trees and things like that. And their bodies were so hard that nothing could penetrate their bodies. So they were thousands and thousands in numbers and also of huge strength. So with that, they all were born on earth to support Rama. So Yudhishthira then asks, listening to this story, Yudhishthira asks Markandeya, tell me, why did Rama had to go exile and what happened? Why Dasharatha and his sons Lakshmana had to go there and what happened? How did Rama came across Ravana and all these details? So then Markandeya explains that Dasharatha was always minded what is the religious ceremonies and things like that. He was always thinking about like that. His son gradually grew up. They completed the brahmacharya mode and they got married. And Rama was the intelligent among all of them and favorite of Dasharatha. So here Markandeya explains how the Rama was looking. He was Kausalya's delight. He was always pleasing Kausalya, and he is possessed of eyes that is red in color, and his arms were long and uh, well built. He had steps like an elephant, such a huge, strong step, and he had long arms, high shoulders, black curly hair. He was very strong, valiant, and glowing in uh, shining with his splendor. And he was inferior. He was not even. He was very strong, and even like Indra, he was himself in battles. Nobody could defeat him. He was well versed in all the rituals and everything. He had senses under full control. He was loved by all the people. He was skilled in everything and all the sciences, and he was knowledgeable, fully knowledgeable. And even his enemies used to looking at him, they used to be very happy. So he was has such a good control and looks and well built like that. But he was very he was the terror for the wicked people, but he was the protector of the virtuous people. So such Rama was the son of Dasharatha, and Dasharatha, thinking about his old age, he thinks about giving the reins to Rama. So what he does is he calls the family priest Vasishta, and then he tells him that Pushya Nakshatra is tomorrow. In that auspicious time, let's Rama be invited and let's do his coronation tomorrow. In that before that Pushya Nakshatra finishes. So hearing this, what Mantara, who is the maid of Kaikeyi is Bharata's mother. So so Mantara goes to Kaikeyi and says that, oh unlucky one, I wish you were bitten by a poisonous snake, or you were crushed by an elephant, or something would have happened to you instead of living this life of wretched life you have you not heard about what's happening? Rama is getting all the kingdom and your son does not get anything. And hearing this, Kaikeyi becomes very angry. She puts all the ornaments and everything and she goes to Dasharatha and tells him that you previously promised me something. Can you fulfill that promise? And Dasharatha says that I will do whatever I promised. Tell me what you want, except the wealth belonging to Brahmana. If you want all the wealth, I will give you all that. If you want somebody to be punished, I will do it. If you want somebody to be released from death sentence, I will do it. Tell me what you want, I will do that. Hearing this, Kaikeyi says that let Bharata became the recipient of all this kingdom and everything. Instead of whatever you wanted to give to Rama, let Bharata take that, and then let Rama go to 14 years exile and let him live in Dandaka forest with like a rishis. Let him live there. So, hearing this words, Dasharatha becomes uh, very sad and he becomes speechless and he becomes fully uh, sad and unhappy. And but Rama, listening to this, learning about these things, to keep his father's words, he decides to leave to Dandaka forest with his wife. He was joined by his brother Lakshmana and his wife Sita. So after Rama went to forest, Dasharatha, in that sorrow, he died. And then Bharata comes there, and Kaikeyi tells Bharata that Dasharatha has gone to heaven. Rama, Lakshmana went to forest. You rule the kingdom without any trouble. You rule this kingdom. And Bharata becomes very angry. He uh, becomes very disappointed and angry with his mother, saying that your wicked deeds. have killed my father and you are exterminated my family purely for wealth alone. You have sent Rama to forest because of your uh, wicked actions and evil things, purely looking from a wealth point of view. So with that, Bharata decides to go and bring Rama back. He goes to the forest with Kausalya, Sumitra, Kaikeyi, Vashishta, and all the Brahmanas, Vamadeva, Vashishta, and all the Brahmanas. He goes there and he sees Rama and Lakshmana in mountains of Chitrakuta mountains. There, Rama, Lakshmana with Sita, they were living like rishis. Bharata uh, asks Rama to come back to Ayodhya, but Rama declines, and instead, with that, Bharata returns to from there Chitrakuta, and he goes to Nandigrama and stays in Nandigrama and rules uh, on behalf of Rama. He rules the kingdom from Nandigrama. He does not return to Ayodhya. So he takes a wooden sandals of Rama and worships that till Rama returns. So hearing this, so after Bharata has returned, Rama thinks that if we stay in Chitrakuta, people will keep coming and they will keep troubling us. So they will not let us complete this 14 years in the forest. So he starts making journey in the certain directions. He goes to Sharabanga, Sharabanga Asylum, and then from there he goes to Dandaka forest on the Godavari river, on the banks of Godavari river. There in that forest, when Rama was living, there he comes across Khara, one of Ravana's brothers, uh, living there in that. While he was living in that Dandaka forest, a place called Janasthana, he comes of Khara and Shurpanaka. And with Rama in a battle with Khara, Khara was disturbing all the rishis and munis living in that forest, Dandaka forest. So Khara fights with Rama, and Rama kills 14,000 Rakshasas in that place along with Khara, and he removes all the obstacles rishis were facing in that place. And then he also disfigures Shurpanaka by cutting her uh, nose and lips and also ears. Cutting that, after that, he sends Shurpanaka away from there. So Shurpanaka, after this disfigured, mutilated nose and lips, she comes to Lanka and tells Ravana all the things that happened, killing of Khara and all this army. And he also she also tells Ravana that there is this lady who is very beautiful, who should be your wife. And with that, Rama, thinking about revenge for all the things Rama has done, sorry, Ravana thinking about all the revenge against Rama, he goes to Maricha. So he goes to Maricha. So crossing Trikuta, Kala mountains, he comes to Gokarna where Maricha was doing penance. He was in the ascetic form. He comes there and sees Maricha. Maricha, looking at Ravana, asks him, "Is everything okay? You don't look like happy. Is everything in your people? Is everything okay? What has made you come here?" And Ravana then tells him that what happened, and he tells him that you must go there and provoke Rama, and then I will do something and abduct Sita. So Marich at that time says that I have faced Rama previously and defeated by him. I ran, and then since then I gave up all that life, and this form of me becoming a Muni here is because of Rama. And surely I can't go there. But Ravana threatens him that if you don't go and do this, I will kill you. Then Maricha thinks that it's better to die in the hands of Rama than Ravana. So he agrees. With that, both Ravana and Maricha go to Janasthana. So they're going there. Maricha transforms himself in the form of a beautiful golden deer and wanders in front of Sita. Sita, looking at that, asks Rama to bring that deer. So Rama goes in the chase of that deer. So with that, so he goes there. While he was away, takes the Maricha in the form of a deer, takes long distance, and then Rama realizes that this is not a real deer, he's a Rakshasa. So he releases the Raudra weapon and he kills that deer. While in his last minutes, that Maricha screams asking for Lakshmana's help. So, hearing this, Sita tells Lakshmana to go and look for Rama and support him. But Lakshmana says this is not something Rama would be in trouble, so don't worry. But Sita speaks harshly, saying that you think that if Rama is killed, then you can marry me. That's why you are thinking like that. And Lakshmana becomes upset with that. He immediately leaves that place and goes to searching for Rama. In this time, what Ravana does is he comes in the form of a Muni. He comes to that ashrama and Sita gives him water and seat and everything. Then immediately Ravana turns himself into Rakshasa and tells that I am Ravana. I came from Lanka, which is across the other side of this there is a great ocean, and across that Lanka is there. There are lot of beautiful women, but none of them shine like you, so you become my wife. And hearing this, Sita says that don't say that. I will not marry you. I am married to Rama, and I will never think about marrying anybody else. And with that, she goes to inside of that ashrama. But Ravana immediately goes and grabs her and takes her and rises up in the Pushpaka chariot in the air. Seeing this, Jatayu, who is a vulture, was there and comes across and stops Ravana. So that Jatayu is the brother of Sampati and his son of Aruna. You probably heard about Aruna previously in the Adi Parva. Aruna is Garuda's brother, right? So he's the charioteer of Surya, born of Vinata. Vinata has two eggs, one was Aruna and one was Garuda, right? So Aruna's sons Jatayu and Sampati. So here Jatayu stops Ravana, and then Ravana he asks Ravana to leave Sita there, but Ravana does not agree, and then Jatayu with his beak and claws hurts, creates, injures Ravana body with all the beaks and everything. He hurts. Blood started flowing from Ravana. Immediately, Ravana becomes very angry, and when Jatayu was tired in this fighting, Ravana takes up his sword and cuts the wings of Jatayu. With that, Jatayu falls on the ground. So, having after cutting that uh, Jatayu's wings, Ravana takes Sita and then with his chariot he goes towards Lanka. In the air, while in the air, what Sita does is as she was flying, she starts dropping her jewelry and everything that she was wearing one after another. She stops dropping, and as she was flying on a huge mountain, she sees five monkeys standing there. There also, she drops something costly cloth that she was wearing. She drops that as well, and then like that, she goes with Ravana to Lanka. And going there, Lanka there, Ravana puts Lanka in a grove of Ashoka forest. So in that forest, Lanka in that Sita was kept by Ravana because Sita did not agree to marry Ravana. So he thinks that if I leave her there for a few days to think about it, she will then agree to marry me. So Sita was put in that uh, Ashoka forest. So here, Rama, after killing that deer, realizing that it's a Rakshasa, he was on his way back. There he sees Lakshmana. And seeing Lakshmana, he asks, why have you come here? Why did you leave Sita alone? And then Lakshmana explains everything that's the harsh word Sita has said. And with that, so Lakshmana, Rama thinking that, okay, something is wrong, they immediately start returning towards their ashrama in Janasthana. As they were returning, they see a huge vulture uh, there, and immediately they draw up their bow and thinking that it's going to attack them. But that vulture says that blessed you are. I am king of vulture and a friend of Dasharatha. And hearing this, Rama and Lakshmana go there, put their bow down, and then they go and ask, tell who you are. And that vulture Jatayu explains everything, saying that Sita was abducted by Ravana. I stopped him, but he chopped my wings, and this is my situation. And Rama asked him which direction, where did Ravana go? And Jatayu just turns it head in the southern direction. And while he was doing that, Jatayu gives up his life. So, after performing all the final rites for Jatayu, Rama and Lakshmana start from there, from that Janasthana. They start their journey searching Sita in the southern direction. They leave that place and then go. While they're on their journey, they come across a huge headless body, Rakshasa. In Ramayana, it is name mentioned as Kabanda. That Rakshasa was there like a mountain, and that Rakshasa gets hold of Lakshmana, and Lakshmana in that situation, held by that Rakshasa, tells Rama that I'm going to die today. So you go and search Sita. Unfortunately, I won't be able to see you return to Ayodhya with Sita. I won't be able to do. So you leave. And then Rama immediately says that don't worry, don't cry like this. And then immediately Rama tells Lakshmana that you chop one arm, I will chop another one. And with that, Rama releases an arrow and cuts that Rakshasa's Kabanda's arm. And Lakshmana also, with the weapon he was having, he cuts one arm, and that Rakshasa immediately fell on the ground and then died. Immediately, that Rakshasa body turned into a huge bright light, and then in the sky, uh, they see a Gandharva. And then that Rama Lakshmana ask him who you are, and then the Gandharva explains that his name is Vishwavasu, and because of the curse of a Brahmana, he had to assume that form. And that Gandharva explains, gives more details to Rama, saying that you go in this direction, go to Sugriva in Rishimuka mountain near Pampa river, and that Sugriva is the brother of Vali, and he will help you, and he will help you with his people. He will help you in finding Ravana and Sita, and then rescuing Sita from Ravana. So, saying that, that Gandharva disappears from there. So, with that, Rama, very much in grief, looking for Sita, he goes further in the Pampa lake, and there he sees that beautiful Pampa lake with cool breeze and everything. And in that Pampa lake, he offers tarpana to his ancestors and devatas and everything. And then after that, argya to devatas and everything. And then he goes. Uh, he was very sad, but then Lakshmana consoles him, saying that don't worry, with we will go and search Sita and we will get Sita back. Don't worry about this. And with that, they continue their journey. They go to Rishimuka. There, Sugriva, looking at these people coming, sends his counselor Hanuman to meet Rama and Lakshmana. And Hanuman learns about Rama and Lakshmana and then takes them to Sugriva. So Sugriva and Rama, they agree to become friends, and then Rama agrees to help Sugriva in defeating his brother Vali in a battle. So we stop there. We'll continue what happens next in the next session.